Fire away, Ben.
There we go. Pep, in the week of another Champions League final, I'd like to take you back, if I can, to your first Champions League final as a manager. Obviously, it was in your first season as well of management, getting all the way to the final and winning it with Barcelona. I was lucky enough to be there. Your team was absolutely wonderful. I just wonder, though, because it was your first season, did it in any way fool you into thinking that this competition was more straightforward than it perhaps has been since? And I just wonder how your view of winning the Champions League has changed over perhaps the last 12 years.
I'm fortunate. I was fortunate alongside with many people. When you have in your career as a manager was one time arrive in the last stages or the challenge to win the Champions League is great. So it doesn't mean that you have to win the Champions League every season and win everything. Most of the times you are not even there for along your career. I don't ask anything else that I lived so far in my career, and I'm pretty sure I will not ask anything more. So it just to work to try to arrive in the last stages. This year we made a fantastic Champions League tournament, and we are in the final, and we have 4 or 5 days to prepare the final. That's all. So, and when I started being manager, I never thought for one instant to get or to live what we live with many people, what we live in these 12, 13 years as a manager. Never, ever, impossible. So what could ask more of that? No, I wouldn't do it.
And do you have your team in mind for this week yet? And if not, is there anything that the players can do this week between now and the final to work their way into your starting lineup?
No, they are ready. I know how good they are, all of them, and I'm not going to change for 1 or 2 training sessions. They're going to convince me. So I know them, most of them, for many years. So no, I have an idea, but still the start 11 still is not done, not yet.
Next we go to Rob Dawson.
Hi, Pep. All the way back at the start of the season, you said you had a special feeling about this season's Champions League. Obviously, you've been proved right because you've got all the way to the final. I just wondered what was it all the way back at the start of the season that made you feel that this season's competition was or could be special?
No, I never thought, Rob, in the beginning of the season that this was the season to get the final of the Champions League. I never approached this competition in the beginning since I started in Barcelona. Do it because listen, we are quite similar teams that we were in the past when we were out. The margins are little details, and this year was fell down on our side, and when the many years or a few years ago was the opposite. So no change much. So now we were quite satisfied to get the final, but we know that if you don't have a huge desire to win it, a huge desire to know exactly what you have to do the best of us, or will not be possible to win the game and win the Champions League.
Thank you, Rob. Next we go to Andy Hampson.
Hello, Pep. Since they reached the final, in the last few weeks, Chelsea seem to have gone off the boil a bit. They've lost 3 of the last 4 games. Do you think that's significant at all?
Congratulations for Chelsea.
Their form wouldn't seem to be great going into this game. Do you think that's something that's to your advantage?
Different competitions. Congratulations. New game. We're going to see what happens.
Okay, Andy, thank you. We'll next go to Guillaume Balaguer.
Hi, Pep. It's well known that you've got a close friendship with Tuchel. The first time you met, I think it was about 6 years ago in Munich. And for what I hear, your assistants were saying, why are you telling him so much stuff? Because every time you play against him, they were getting closer and closer to you. Could you give us a little bit of an insight of those conversations? I mean, there was plenty of learning from you as well. There was plenty of good wine. What was going on there?
No, Thomas Reschke, he was in that moment working in Bayern Munich, and he organized a dinner together in Munich in a nice restaurant, Schumann's Bar, with Peter Hermann. In that moment, was assistant coach from Jupp Heynckes, and we talk football, and football. That's all. So we talk about this, about that, and what their feelings, our loves about in that moment the good players, bad players, and football. With football, with interesting people, because I learn a lot, and a good food and a good wine always is a nice moment to share. So good memory. So since then, we grew up, and of course, and both of us, we have a good relation. I respect him, but he knows, I know, so we want to win.
Thank you, Guillaume. Dom Dietrich.
Hi, Pep. You okay? I just wanted to ask you about Phil Foden, and I guess the Phil Foden you first met when you first arrived at the club compared to the Phil you know today. What sort of journey has he been on as a footballer and as a man, and how important is he to this team going into the final?
Well, we cannot expect one player to start with 17 years old training with us. It will be the same player with 20 years old. You're being the 20-year it would be the same player with 20 years old. He would have not played the minutes that he played this season. So he grew up, his ambition, and he's ready. So he's playing good this season, and we're going to see. He has his chance to play the final.
Thank you, Dom. Next we go to Gideon Brooks.
Hi, Pep. 2 recent defeats to Chelsea. Has that given you problems to solve and ideas to work on, or something to worry about?
Chelsea create problems, all the teams. We have to do how many problems we create them. Difficult to stop them for the quality they have, for the setup. The team is wide in the sides and depth, and they are so close. The distances, the players in between, they are so closer, and they play really good in the pockets. They make incredible good in behinds. So create problems all the teams, not just us. So what do you have to do to create them? I said, like before you call it, congratulations, the 2 games they beat us. So it's another competition, the final, and we will see what happens.
Thank you, Gideon. Dominic Farrell.
Hi, Pep. When you were a player at Barcelona, you won for the first time, Barcelona's first European Cup, but they'd lost European finals previously, and then you managed Barca when they had played more finals, won some, lost some. Is there a different feeling and a mood around City as a club who've never been to this stage before compared to the Barcelona you played for and managed?
But when we won the 92 in Barcelona, football player, Barcelona lost before 2 or 3 times. Some were unlucky, some of them so unlucky. And sometimes you need time, but the important is the way we are going to approach the final. What do you have to do to win the game? So, and we are going to play to win the game. And then after the consequences on the results, on Sunday we analyze, and on Monday as well. And usually I'm concerned. I'm not thinking. Sometimes clubs needs more finals to win the first one, and other clubs need just one shot to be the champion. So hopefully it will be the case. That's for sure. That if this club is new for many things, if for many reasons we are new for many things, is this club. So we are in this period. We live. We make back-to-back for the first time. We break a lot of records for first time and play the final, arrive the semi-final for the second time, arrive the final for the first time. So as a club, as an organization, we are not old in this case. But in terms of how excited we are and how delighted and satisfied and many things, nobody can beat us on that. Nobody.
Thank you, Don. Next we go to Arthur Quezada.
Yes. Hello, Pep. Are you listening to me?
Yeah, perfectly.
All right. Pep, we went to San Pedro to do some interviews about you and tracking your profile. And over there, we spoke to a friend of you, Augusti. And he told us a story that once in a football game at school, you broke your arm and you kept playing because you didn't want to lose. Do you remember this story? And does it show how competitive you still are in this sport?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No. But Agustí don't lie, must be true, but I don't remember. I remember we won the game, that's for sure, but I don't remember we break the arm and I could not play. Yeah. In that period, Arthur, you are young. In that period, in my little town when I was born, there is one option. It's just play on the street. So we don't have mobile phones, machines, and these kind of things that everybody use. We were lucky. We were fortunate. So all the time we were in the street. And I'm pretty sure we play football, not just football, basketball, and all the games there. So that's why maybe it's happened, but I don't remember.
Okay. Thank you, Arthur. And Jack Gorn.
Hi, Pep. You talk about the small margins in these big European games. Obviously, the appointment of the referee caught quite a lot of attention when it got announced by UEFA, given the history. Have you spoken to him since that Liverpool match? Have you been in contact?
No.
Is it the sort of thing that you just can't allow yourself to worry about before the game, and you just got to hope that there's no drama?
No, 1 second. I could not care less.
But you've got confidence that he's able to kind of manage the game.
I'm so confident in my team. You cannot imagine how confident I am in my team and what do you have to do.
Okay, Jack, thank you. Kieran Canning.
Hi, Pep. You've been able to use the squads quite a bit since winning the league a couple of weeks ago, and that was similar to your two previous finals at Barcelona, where you won the league with a few weeks to spare and give more time to prepare for the final. Obviously, Chelsea, by contrast, have had to keep fighting until the final day. Is that an advantage in terms of your preparation for the final, that you've been able to focus on it?
Will be advantage if we win, will be disadvantage if we lose. So I don't know, Kieran, right now. So it happened. So we are fortunate to win the Premier League 3 games ago before the end. And the real preparation for the Champions League will be tomorrow day after Wednesday and Thursday. These 2 days we're going to prepare the final. So the last days we prepare the games, celebrate the Premier League all the time, good mood, no stress. Keep focusing, okay, Newcastle and Brighton and the other ones, and improve now for the last 3 games, the good things and bad things we have done, and now Wednesday and Thursday are going to prepare specifically the final.
Thank you, Kieran. Simon Evans.
But just in terms of the defensive side of the game, you mentioned that Chelsea play very close together, and just from your defensive side, is it that area there where they're playing sometimes Pulisic, Havertz, Mount in that sort of inside channels, pockets there? Is that going to be the crucial area in terms of nullifying Chelsea, or is there somewhere else that you see as the biggest threat?
No, I explained not well. I said when they have the ball, it's difficult to control them for the fact that they are so close. The distances between the players in the middle, they are so close. Related to them, the 2 holding midfielders, they move perfectly between each other, and in the same time they make the pitch wide with the wing backs and so deep with the movements for the burner. So that's why it's difficult to control, because with that movement they move perfectly with Pulisic and Mount in the pockets, and once they get the ball, they are so direct. They are not the players for the pass the ball. They are the movement so clever. That's why I saw this morning yesterday they played Aston Villa, and the first time they were losing 1-0, but they play good in terms of they control the game. They know exactly what they have to do. the process, the methodology, all the, the process they do it really well. So that's why it's a final, it's a final Champions League. So I could not expect, less tough, opponent. And so we know it, and okay, we are going to face them, knowing what you have to do to beat them. So I'm more concerned what you have to do with the ball. So it's a team created to do what they have to do with the ball. Our strategy without the ball is run as much as possible, and our strategy as a team from the day one when we arrive is what we do with the ball. And this is what I'm going to work the last 3 days before the final on Saturday.
Look, Ilkay, the manager has spoken in recent weeks about the difficulty of having to pick a team for this final, and perhaps the more difficult task of leaving some players out. You have played in a Champions League final before. I wonder if you can take us back to 2013, and can you let us know how you felt when you got the news you were going to be starting in that game, and obviously what it would mean to you to be selected again to play this weekend?
First of all, I don't know if I want to remember that day because obviously we were not able to win it. But jokes aside, it was a great achievement for us, for that young Dortmund side, to get into the Champions League final, beating Real Madrid in 2 legs in the semi-final. It just felt like we were on a run, and we weren't not thinking much about anything. And that was maybe also the good side of it, that we went just out on the pitch, to play, to enjoy, to have fun, to win. And there was not much else. And that's why I don't really know. I don't really know what the feeling should be like, because obviously everyone is different. There are some maybe thinking a lot about that final already in previous weeks, after reaching it. There are maybe some who were able to just put it on the side, focus on the rest of the Premier League, and maybe start thinking about it right now. At the end of the day, I feel like it's just about being prepared, and everyone knows himself the best, being just prepared as good as possible, for that special game, obviously for everyone, not just for us as Man City. I'm sure it's for the Chelsea players the same. So it's probably the biggest game of all of our lives, of our careers so far. And obviously we will try everything that's possible to be able to lift the trophy at the end of the 90 minutes. And that's what we are targeting. That's what we are preparing for.
Thank you, Ben. Andy Hansen.
Hello, Ilkay.
Hi.
I just wonder about, obviously you've experienced a Champions League final yourself, but there's not much other experience in the squad, and apart from the manager, of course. How important a role do you and the manager have in bringing to the squad this week what you know about this occasion?
I personally wouldn't overthink our roles, to be honest. Of course, the manager always has the responsibility, to try to work on the right tactics, on the right approach for the game. But I don't think it changes anything because it's the Champions League final. I'm 100% sure he prepares us for every single game as good as he can. So that's why I don't feel like there's much I could give. I could tell my teammates from my experience from the final in 2013, because at the end it's a big game. It's a final, and every final is different. Everyone deals with the pressure different of playing that big game. So what I just try to do is I can just try to keep up the levels as high as possible. Try to get everyone working still 100% on the training sessions, on every single training session, like not to leave just 1% out of it. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to do all season long. So it doesn't change anything in the approach of having the last week now before that big game. And as one of the captains, that's also my responsibility. So that's what we are trying to do with the whole squad. And we know the responsibilities, and that's what we're doing.
Thank you, Andy. David Anderson.
Hi, LK. Thank you very much for your time. LK, just ask you about Thomas Tuchel, because you had your last season at Dortmund when he was manager. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Just, what were your impressions of that? Because that was his first management job, wasn't it?
No, I think that he was in Mainz before, Thomas Tuchel. But for me, to be honest, it was great to have him one more year. I honestly didn't expect much when it was announced that he's gonna be the new manager. I was even in talks maybe to leave the club. But I remember I had one phone call with him, and he kind of presented himself to me, when I was on holiday in the summer break. And it was actually a really good call. He tried to explain me a few things, how he wanted us to play, how he wanted us to train. And every single thing he said, he really proved during that season. And I was surprised how well he was working with the team, how well his approach to the game was, how well known he was in terms of tactics. And I really enjoyed it. I think he taught me a lot. I think he's a great manager. I've said it over the last few years several times, I'm sure. And now it's just nice for me that he's able to prove it also in the best league in the world, in the Premier League. And that he did so well with Chelsea in this very difficult season, also for them. And was able to get them into the Champions League for the next season, which maybe a lot of people didn't expect when he was presented. So that proves to me that he's a great manager. He proved himself. He's a really good guy. I really like him and his coaching stuff. And I'm looking forward to play against them.
Thank you, David. Dom Dietrich.
Hi, okay. How's it going?
Hi, all good.
Good stuff. I just wanted to ask, what advice would you give to a young player like Phil Foden going into a Champions League final on Saturday as one of the leaders in the dressing room, and how important is he to this team?
Phil has become one of our main players, to be honest, throughout the season. He's doing incredibly well. He improved in so many things and so many details of his game, mainly in taking also the right decisions at crucial times. For such a young age, it's really impressive. So I wouldn't recommend him to change anything, to be honest, from what he did over the last few weeks. He's doing great. He's one of the game changers for us, and he can be one also on Saturday. But there's no need to put anyone under pressure, because everyone has done the right things in the last few months in such a difficult season. So I don't think there's much we should change. It's just about maintaining that level, that form, and going with that attitude into the game Saturday. That's enough, not more.
Thank you. Next, we go to Arthur Quexada.
Yes. Hello, Ilkay. Are you listening?
Yes, I hear. Yes.
All right. So my question is about Fernandinho. He could become the first Brazilian player to lift a Champions League as a captain. What kind of leader is Fernandinho, and what was his importance for the change of attitude of the team this season, especially in the bad moment of the season?
I really can't impress how important Fernandinho is to us as a group. He's immense. Obviously, he didn't get maybe as much game time as others in the squad in this season, but he exactly knows his role. He exactly knows his responsibility. He exactly knows what he has to do and what he has to say in the right times as well. And this is what a leader is. A leader is not always the one maybe who is scoring the goals or who is playing every single minute, who has the best passing rate, whatever. A leader is someone who's not scared also to say in bad moments the truth. and to have that sense of empathy inside himself, and to understand his personal role. And even though his personal role from a sporting perspective was maybe not the easiest one, the way he handled it was just incredible, I think, during this difficult season. And he's a big part of our success in this year. And when he played amazing. So this is what I expect from a group that is functioning, that every single player, and that's obviously a dream that is never really able to achieve, because all the different characters that you have. But if you wish to have the right characters in a squad, you wish to have a lot of players like Fernandinho, because it's just the right mindset that he brings into this group. And he's so important for us. I can't really describe it.
Thank you. Next we'll go to Alexis Hontag.
Hello, okay. Some fans will be attending the game in Porto. What difference does it make for you players to have fans in the stadium, especially for a final?
It's just great. I think it's especially a great occasion also for our fans, of being able to be for the first time in the Champions League again in this season, in the stadium, and straight away in the final. This is, I think, a great possibility for all the fans that are traveling. So for us, it's also great for us players. I mean, at the end, we started to love this game because of the emotions, that are transported from outside to the pitch, from the pitch to the outside. So the connection, between people on the stands and the players on the pitch was always something that we were used to. And then this got taken from us last year, and it's been difficult to deal with it. Even though also you get used to this thing. But it's great, to see people coming back into the stadiums, not just in our own stadium, also all around the league, in the Premier League, to have people back in the stadiums to watch, even when you watch, like from the television, and you see people on the stands again. It's just great. And this is again a special occasion, I think, to have people back in the stadium. And I'm sure it's going to be a great atmosphere, even though the stadium will not be full. I'm sure it will be a great atmosphere, and we players enjoy the game exactly like that, exactly with people on the stands cheering us.
Thank you, Alexis. Next we'll go to Jack Gorn.
Hiya, Ilkay. You were talking about the group functioning before, and given what you've achieved this season, particularly since Christmas, have you ever gone into a big game more confident than you are now?
I don't know, because we play so many big games, but obviously this one stands out. But I don't really know, to be honest. It's a difficult question. I just feel like because everything has worked so well during all the season, during all the year for us, I just feel like we have the right dynamics now in the group, and everything is quite set. And that's why I just feel comfortable, and that's why I feel that we are prepared for it. So it's just about repeating what we already did, just reminding ourselves again, and not just on Saturday, already this week. And then I will go into that game with the same confidence that I probably went into all the games before. That's the target.
Is that the big thing with the characters in the dressing room, though? You say the dynamics are all right. You've got these massive characters in the dressing room now.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's about getting used to each other, getting used to all the individuals that you have, and this is what makes a group strong, I feel like. And we voted for 5 captains in the beginning of the season, so obviously these people, which I'm part of, have maybe a little bit more responsibility than others. But it's always about bringing the whole group, into the right direction. When you feel like there might be a little danger, there's something, in the air that you might be able to smell, and you don't want to lose someone, on the way throughout the season. So this is very important. And all the players had difficulties, throughout the year. So everyone had maybe a little issue. Some might be a little bit bigger, some might be a bit smaller, but that's quite normal. We all struggle. And it's about, like bouncing back from struggles, reacting well from struggles. And the only people who can really support you are the players that you are at the end also on the pitch with. So that's what we always have to say ourselves, that is our responsibility.
Thanks, Jack. Next we'll go to Dom Farrell.
Hi, Ilkay.
Hi, mate.
First, just want to ask about your fitness. You got a kick against Brighton. You didn't come on yesterday. How's the leg? Are you feeling good?
Yeah, I'm all right. I was a little bit cautious in that Brighton game because of the knock on my knee. I started to feel all the muscles around a little bit, and I didn't want to pull anything on my muscle. So that's why we were a little bit cautious. But I didn't miss any training session after that game, so I'm feeling good. Thanks for asking.
Thank you, Dom. Martin Hardy.
Hi, Ilkay. What would you say are the similarities and differences between Pep and Thomas Tuchel, and how crucial will the battle be between them on Saturday?
I think they are very similar, to be honest, and I'm a bit struggling to mention any differences because I think both are great managers, tactically on such a high level of the game, that both are always able to deal with possible difficulties that they might face during 90 minutes. Both of them are always able to adapt certain things into their game, and I think both of them have quality players now to work with, and this is also maybe a part why both teams reached the final, because of the perfect mix between having the right manager and also the right players, So I'm expecting a game on a very high level on Saturday, a very exciting game, two teams on probably the same level, and that's what will make it so exciting. Probably just little details will decide the game at the end. And of course we will try to put these details into our favor.
Thank you, Martin. Final question we'll take from Simon Evans before we go fetch Pep Guardiola for the second part of the press conference. Simon, you're on mute.
Hi, okay. Yeah, I've just every year it seems people, the pundits and the experts are saying this is Manchester City's year. It seems like the Champions League has been like, even though you've had all this success at the club over the last few years, every year it's like they have to do the Champions League this time. And last year, that defeat to Lyon seemed to have a particular impact on Pep and on the team. I'm just wondering, how long did it take you to get over that defeat, and how much has it driven you this year? Has it been something that went into this season, even beyond a few weeks after that game?
Me personally, it took a while, to be honest, because it was a big disappointment at the end of the day. It was something maybe we didn't expect also ourselves, to lose that game. We felt quite good. We felt confident. And obviously, when you feel like that and you lose it, you're frustrated, you're sad, you might be a little bit angry. But at the end of the day, you don't have really a choice. And that's the good part, in my opinion. So we went on holiday, we came back, we trained just a few days maybe, and we straight had to go into the next season. So we didn't really have a choice apart from just trying again. I feel this year maybe a couple of crucial things changed for us compared to last year. I remembered just before as well that as an example, against Monaco a few years ago, we conceded 3 goals at home. When we played Tottenham and they knocked us out, we conceded again 3 goals at home. When we played Lyon, we conceded 3 goals. And this year, it seems to be that we are just so stable, also in the back, concede just a few amount of goals. And that just helps us, to win even more. And I feel like we are very strong. We are stable. And this is so important in these crucial moments, especially in the knockout stages, in the big games, being able to defend well, not to concede, is obviously a big advantage. And same as well for Chelsea, to be honest, because they seem also to be very stable at the back. They also just concede few amount of goals. And maybe on Saturday it's going to be about who's able to deal better with a team that will defend on a very high level.